Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Nathan Hager, joined by Bloomberg's Dan Curtis on what's already been a pretty busy earnings morning. But before we get to that, Dan, we're starting a holiday-shortened trading week, so I guess we could call this Merger Monday observed in the pharma space. Good morning.
Good morning. I like that. So everyone had a bit of a holiday yesterday, but we still got some deals out, particularly a deal for Rapt Therapeutics, ticker RAPT. GSK has agreed to buy the company at $58 a share in a deal valued at $2.2 billion. That sent the stock up to $57.50, so just short of that $58 a share target, 63% increase from where it closed on Friday. So a good day for the investors in that. The acquisition includes a drug that's being tested to help protect against food allergens with an injection every 8 to 12 weeks instead of the typical 2 to 4 week cycles needed right now. GSK shares about flat, and again, that's not too bad for a morning that's seeing a lot of red in the equity markets. This deal will give GSK a pipeline to bolster revenues after the patent on its top-selling HIV drug expires. And Jeffrey is calling this deal, quote-unquote, sensible, which is a nice British term, it sounds like.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let's get to some of the earnings. We've heard from some big names already, including 3M.
That's right. So this is the company that makes Post-its, and it posted a $6 billion revenue, just slightly lighter than estimates, but earnings came in at $1.83 a share. That was a beat. It also issued guidance for the year, so it's seeing about $8.50 to $8.70 a share in earnings for 2026. That might be a touch softer than analysts hoped for, as the estimates were towards the higher end of that range, $8.64 a share. Those shares are down almost 2% in pre-market. The company is focusing on streamlining operations and bringing new products to the market faster, and it's also been benefiting from data center construction boom. B of A sees about 3% of 3M's revenue coming from that space. So the shares were down a little bit before the earnings, and they're about at the same level as they were ahead. So a little bit of a grain of salt, but not a huge sell-off like we're seeing in some other names.
Speaking of construction, not data centers, but actual houses, we also heard from D.R. Horton this morning.
That's right. It is a home builder, and that's an area that Trump's really been looking at with the affordability push. And D.R. Horton shares up about 0.6%. Those were down almost 2% before earnings, so that's actually a decent boost from where they were before the earnings came out. The home builder reported $6.9 billion in revenue with adjusted earnings per share of $2.03. That's both were beats. Orders for new homes were lighter than estimates, but that was offset by the company closing a higher number of new builds. D.R. Horton sticking to its full-year guidance. It sees sales up to $35 billion for the year.
All right, just 30 seconds left. How's Netflix doing before they report earnings after the bell?
That's right, Netflix. It's another green spot, up 1%. They're reporting after the bell. We have Stranger Things that came out in the recent quarter, so we'll see some dollar figures behind that. And we also have the bidding war over Warner Brothers going on. Worth noting that there's a deadline tomorrow for the counter bids from Paramount Sky. Basically, all the tender offers have to be accepted by then, so we should have some deal news on top of that. So Netflix up just under 1% in the pre-market.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.